At the Gibson County Courthouse in Princeton, Indiana, 23-year-old Quinn Bowes has just been sentenced for a tragic killing.
He is a 23-year-old fast food worker. Quinn Bowes has a criminal history, but it's mostly consisted of petty crimes.
Quinn Bowes is charged with aggravated battery and failure to take care of a dependent child. They offer a deal to Quinn. They call it a charge bargain there, which is basically a plea deal.
Families never want to hear about a plea deal, unless that plea deal is to the maximum charge with the maximum jail time. So whenever you're looking at a situation where somebody may deal their way to a lesser jail time, the family will not be satisfied. And in fact, it's not even about satisfaction. It's about the family's heart being ripped out.
On July 3rd, 2019, Quinn Bowes receives his sentence at the courthouse.
When this defendant steps out into the hallway, again, looking kind of beat like a dog, he's resigned to his fate, he shuffles along, and he doesn't get more than a couple of steps before, boom.
Out of nowhere, pow, he gets hit right in the kisser.
It's kind of like a Superman punch. He goes flying through the air and just sucker punches him, takes him out.
Matt Hartley was the uncle of little Parker.
The uncle, Matt Hartley, he's taken to the ground, he's handcuffed.
Court security detain the uncle and bring him out of the area and arrest him.
Normally, after a plea in which the plea was accepted, the defendant goes out back and is always separated from the victim and the victim's family.
They should have security in front of the defendant and behind the defendant, as well as areas where the public cannot get at the defendant.
So that's where the problem lies, and that's why we had this chaos in the court.
Ultimately, the uncle got his own problems now. He's charged with contempt, he's charged with battery.
People are going to respond emotionally, and so I understand why the judge gave the uncle 179 days in county jail. You have to set a standard and expectations in your courtroom.
36-year-old Alan McCarty is on trial for threatening a public official. He made multiple 911 calls in 2017, saying he wanted to kill a female judge that he mistakenly believes took his children away from him.
Not under oath. Fire, raise your right hand when I swear you in. I'm not under oath.
In court, McCarty refuses to wear a suit and tie or to cooperate with his court-appointed attorney, so he remains in his orange jumpsuit in full shackles.
Security had to make sure that they were prepared for anything that was going to happen.
Brought your dress today, you little You wanna take my kids from me and act like that? You wear that?
Alan McCarty Jr. is upset with the legal system. In his mind, he believes that basically every judge is his enemy, and he continues to think that judges are trying to ruin his life, take away custody of his children, and just cause him a world of trouble.
You want to be here or not? No, I don't. This is all being done unconstitutionally, unrightfully. You ain't allowing my evidence. You ain't allowing my people. We haven't started the trial yet. It doesn't matter. You still deny it. Deny what?
McCarty, like a lot of defendants in jumpsuits, is quite the legal scholar. He says that what's happening is unconstitutional, his attorney's screwing things up, the judge is messing things up, everybody is against Mr. McCarty.
Every right, Joe, I supposedly have you violated. Can I get some water, please? I got a lot more cussing to do, and I need to wet my
Judge Foxman handled the situation as best as he could. He had a sense of calm, even though McCarty was very irate. He actually maintained a sort of control and demeanor of, I've heard it, I've been down this road before.
McCarty in court this day has already threatened to kill one judge. Now he's in front of another judge. Lots of deputies handy because this guy is dangerous.
It comes to a point that the judge had no other choice but to remove McCarty from the courtroom.
Take all my paperwork so I can't show these people?
The judge had him taken to a holding cell where he could be heard, but he couldn't be seen. And the judge was probably hoping that would give him the opportunity to calm down, but it didn't.
McCarty is placed behind this two-way mirror, but the room is not soundproofed.
Mr. McCarty has chosen to voluntarily absent himself as opposed to...
Mute is not one of the settings on this guy. He's still so loud you can hear him through the glass in the observation room, still disrupting this hearing.
Imagine what the jurors were thinking. I know innocent until proven guilty, but when you hear and see the behavior of such, it's really difficult, I would think, to keep an unbiased opinion.
After closing arguments, the jury deliberates for just 30 minutes. Judge Foxman sentences him to 20 years for his threats against Judge Warren.
That judge got his point across and had the last word.
25-year-old Tevin Merriweather is accused of shooting Myron Pierce 22 times at point-blank range. In court, the victim's family and teenage daughter are enraged by Merriweather's claim that he acted in self-defense.
It's really heartbreaking. You can only imagine the feeling that goes through a daughter's mind.
It's not very long into the hearing before Tashia Campbell, the 15-year-old daughter of Myron Pierce, can't take it any longer.
She's vocal, she's loud, and she's moving toward the defendant. Well, one bailiff takes a move toward her, and it's not enough.
It is incredibly difficult for family members of a victim to face the person that took the life of their loved one. So it's not surprising that there are reactions. It's very difficult for even adults to control themselves, let alone a 15-year-old child who has lost her father less than a month before.
Court officers did a great job. Several stayed with the defendant, which they should have, and several were watching the audience. And once they saw that the daughter was charging the well area, they stopped her and brought her outside of the courtroom. And it looked like nobody got hurt, which is the main job, that no one gets hurt in the courthouse or in the courtroom.
After order is restored, Tashia Campbell makes a heartfelt statement about her father.
He was very understanding. You know, like you can go to your friends and talk about stuff, like stuff you wouldn't tell your parents, but it was him. I could go to him, talk to him about stuff. He was very, very understanding and real with me.
No action is taken against the teenager for her outburst.